The agenda until about 12:30 this afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Let's get straight to your top stories. And this is where we start. The South African Police Service will today honour 33 police officers and reservists who lost their lives in the line of duty in the 12 months between the 1st of April 2021 and the 31st of March 2022 at the annual SAPS Commemoration Day. The event will take place at the SAPS Memorial Site at the Union Buildings, that's in Pretoria. President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to deliver a keynote address there. For more on this, let's cross now to SABC News reporter Ofentse Setimo, and he's joining us live from the Union Buildings now. A very good morning to you, Ofentse. It seems like the offensive or the onslaught against police officers continues. 33 will be remembered today.
Good morning.
Absolutely, Griselda, and we know that among those 33, 2 are actually women, and there are different circumstances actually surrounding what actually happened to them, but mostly it's been a case of, thugs or criminal elements targeting their firearms so that they can commit further crime with those firearms. But there's been a case in KZN where we know that a police officer who was part of the search and rescue team during the floods actually got stuck in the river, got held up by sort of a rope, and they tried looking for him. Unfortunately, due to high tide, they called off the search, and then they found him a day later, where they found that he was actually restricted by a rope from actually moving to safety. There was also an incident in Limpopo where there was a roadblock that was being manned, and one of the officers just got onto the road, and unfortunately a speeding car sort of ran over him. So there are different circumstances that are actually surrounding the deaths that actually resulted in about 33 officers, among them 2 females actually losing their lives. We know that the minister is about to arrive and the president is almost here, and in fact the show is about to begin, as you can see. If I can just move out of shot so that you can see the background as to what is happening, you can see that the families that are grieving are already there, and in fact there are some reservists who normally would form part of this particular program. I spoke to the police commissioner, Masemola, the general, and he was actually saying that, these incidents actually affect their operations on the ground, but they are in the process of actually recruiting some more recruits because they have the budget from the president and the treasury. It's a bit awkward right now, Griselda, as there is a moment of silence, whereas the troopers are actually coming in. So I think you can definitely take the pictures as to what is transpiring here.
Ofentse, while that parade continues there, I know a bit earlier on you had spoken to Major General Thapelo Peters. Thapelo Peters is the head of communication as well as the National Police Commissioner General Fani Masimula. Did they touch on what is being done to deal with this onslaught on the men and women in blue? This is an annual commemoration, but the onslaught continues. We know that the South African Police Union, for example, is amongst those who say that a lack of resources within the South African Police Service is what is contributing towards this onslaught. Do they say anything about what continues to lead to this kind of onslaught, if I can, again, against police?
Yes, Griselda. Well, what I can tell you is that the National Commissioner did concede that, firearms that are in the possession of police officers are mostly the target by criminal elements, whereas they would be shot indiscriminately and unsuspectingly by the criminal elements just so that they can get their firearms. He was saying that, there is some training that currently the police officers are actually undergoing to actually tackle this. He was also saying that, in as much as, the operations might be affected on the ground, there is a way to counter this, as they have been allocated a budget by the Treasury and the President. And if I can just get on to the program, currently there is a national salute that is currently happening, which will be acknowledged by the President. He has not actually walked into the amphitheater as yet, but we know that he can arrive with the Minister of Police at any minute. And following that, there's going to be a scripture reading and prayer, and then that will be followed by a welcome address by the Minister of Police and a tribute to the deceased and a dedication, that will be like a wreath laying by the minister is going to do a wreath laying on behalf of the Department of Police, and then the National Police Commissioner will do a wreath laying on behalf of the South African Police Service, and then the President will also do a wreath laying on behalf of the South African government. Then there will be a national anthem and a fly past, and then following that, the families will also be given a chance to mourn their beloved family members by laying wreaths, and then follow.
All right, we'll come back to Ofentse as soon as we're able to establish that connection with him once again. 3 police officers, 33 in fact, slain over the past 12 months, and that's where they'll be remembered today at the Union Buildings in Pretoria. The President expected to be there today. He will be accompanied by the Police Minister, General Bheki Cele. Let's go back live to the Union Buildings.